Welcome to Beauty is Eternal, in-depth interviews that inspire. I'm your host, Caitlin. Today's episode is called Emotional Freedom Technique Expert Brad Yates, Tapping to Flourish. In German, there is a great expression, das Leben ist kein Ponyhof, which literally means life is not a pony farm. Or more clearly translated, life is not easy. What if there was a technique that you could learn to help you work through negative emotions and make your life easier? My guest today teaches everyone from elite athletes to CEOs and actors to people struggling with addiction how to master their emotions. Brad Yates uses something called Emotional Freedom Technique, also known as EFT, to help people overcome fear and stress to improve their lives. I know of Brad because I'm one of those people whose life he helped to improve. He is the co-author of the top-selling book for children, The Wizard's Wish, as well as the top-selling book, Freedom at Your Fingertips, and was featured as an expert in the film The Tapping Solution. He has done teleseminars with the Secret Stars, Bob Doyle and Dr. Joe Vitale, and been a featured expert in all 4 Tapping World Summits. Prior to being an EFT expert, Brad was an internationally performing actor and graduated from Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Clown College. You'll find Brad under the name Tap with Brad on all social media or on his website, tapwithbrad.com. Now to the interview. Well, thank you for coming on the show, Brad. I've been following you for years, so I can't believe I'm actually getting to meet you in person.
Oh, my pleasure, Caitlin. I'm happy to be here.
Well, I've literally done your videos every day for a couple of years, so yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So the first question that I want to ask you is basically, what is emotional freedom technique and why does it matter to us in the world?
Yeah. So, emotional freedom technique, also known as EFT for short, and a lot of us just call it tapping these days because it is literally a process of tapping with our fingertips on different places on our face and torso. And for anyone who's new to this, you might be going, well, that's weird. Why would you do that? So, let me explain. And tapping was originally based on acupuncture. So, for thousands of years in Chinese medicine, they've said there's a flow of energy through the body along these pathways that are called meridians. And when this energy is flowing naturally, we experience our natural state of health and well being physically and emotionally. And when this energy gets disrupted and stuck, then we don't feel so good. And when we don't feel good, we don't think as clearly, we don't make the best choices, and it can be very harmful to our physical health, our emotional health, and our success and happiness. So, in traditional acupuncture, the doctor would stick needles in these different places around the body to stimulate that healthy flow of energy. And we're just using our fingertips to tap those points to stimulate that. So, and even though acupuncture has been around for thousands of years, we have modern scientific research validating that this is a profound stress relief technique. So, when you look at it, when we're trying to make changes in our lives, when we're trying to improve any part of our lives, part of our mind is designed to keep us stuck in what feels familiar. Even when our life is crap, it's our crap. We know we're familiar with it. We know how to deal with it. So there's a part of us that's very resistant to change, even if we can say it's positive change. So as we tap and lower our stress, we become more open to seeing things differently and doing things differently so that we can feel better, do better, and live better.
So it's sort of like a way of communicating with your body's energy system based on,
Absolutely.
it's sort of not based on, but similar to acupuncture.
Yeah, so it's using the same system as acupuncture. There are a lot of different theories about how it's working, whether, you know, there are studies showing, oh, we do have evidence of a meridian system, of this energy flowing through the body, as opposed to, for thousands of years it was, well, we feel it, we sense it, but we can't show it. There are things that they are showing, like this thing called the prima vascular system that correlates with the meridians. But there are different theories about the polyvagal system, about bioelectrical charges, and how these different points on the body have lower electrical resistance, and that's why it creates the change in the brain
Oh,
and
wow.
downregulates the stress. So there's a lot of theories about exactly why it's working, but there's an extreme amount of evidence that it does work.
So you mentioned that it's a way of helping us change patterns that we might be stuck in, or so why is it important to change things? Let's say a habit we might be stuck in our pattern, or an energy block that we might have. Why is it important for us to work through them instead of just saying, "Hey, that's a part of my life"?
Well, great question, because obviously no one can make you be happier or more successful or healthier. It's absolutely a choice. If you are, where you're at and you're perfectly happy with that, hey, uh, there will be people who say, well, you should be doing more. And to them, you can say, stop shooting on me. It's like, don't, we get to decide what we want. So, but for anyone who feels like, well, I would like to be healthier, I would like to be happier, I would like to be more successful, and not just saying, wow, it's, I'm just not capable. I obviously it's not meant for me. And that's what a lot of us do, is we say, well, I guess just that's just how it is for me. Those are the cards that I was dealt. And why bother trying to change fate? Well, it's not fate. It's that we have a lot of old programming. We have a lot of things that have happened to us in our lifetime that suggest that, well, we're not any smarter, or we don't have what it takes, or we don't deserve better. We're not we're not worthy of these things. And so we settle for less than what's possible. And you're welcome to settle for it, but why? Because your success benefits other people as well as yourself. So we don't want to shortchange ourselves. So it's not a matter of you should be happier and more successful and healthier and all these things, but you aren't limited at where you're at. So if you say, well, I would like things to be better, you have the capability to make it better, but there's old patterns and behavior that stop us from making it better. And so this is a way of clearing out the stress that keeps us stuck in our comfort zone.
I see. So it's a way to help us overcome the limitations that we perceive and then grow beyond it.
Yep.
Would you say that EFT is valuable for somebody who doesn't have severe trauma or PTSD, or more valuable for somebody with serious issues, or is it good for both?
So is taking a shower good for everyone, or just somebody who is a professional athlete and gets sweaty at their work every day? See, and I say that because I always recommend tapping on a daily basis, because to me it's energy hygiene. We are always experiencing some level of stress. It's we may not be aware of it, but just like, you know, we have daily physical hygiene, like taking showers and brushing our teeth. Most of us don't wait several days until the people around us are holding their nose and we go, now I should probably take a shower. We don't wait until there's stuff growing between our teeth and go, oh, now I should brush my teeth. We just do it as a maintenance, whether we do it daily, whether we think we need it or not. I think we should do that with our energy, because there's always some low level stress that's affecting us in ways that we're not even aware of. Just like with your teeth or your body, there's going to be, before it's noticeable, there's some lower levels of dirt, and the same with stress. So I say, don't just wait until you're really upset and then say, oh, you know now I need to do that. Just like don't wait until everybody is walking away from you to say, now I should take a shower.
Well, that's an interesting point you bring up about how often to do it, because in my experience with EFT, and I've done a lot of your videos, I've noticed if I have a negative feeling or circumstance, then I don't necessarily want to go through that every day tapping, but I like to do the positive ones. Like my favorite is the love magnet. I like to do those every day because those help me stay in a good place. But am I doing that right? So if, let's say that I have had an upsetting experience with someone in my family, should I try and tap through it every day, or are there one-off kind of tappings, or can you get into how often you should use it for different circumstances?
Yeah, and I'm not big on rules because I don't think there's one way that's right for everyone. I get asked the question a lot of how many videos should I do a day? How long should I tap each day? Is it okay to tap on more than one video, or should I stick with the same video for a while? Like, well, experiment and see what works for you. For some people, they will find it's more effective to focus on one particular video or one particular subject. But so many issues are interrelated that sometimes it's by going on another video, and maybe a video that you might think, well, that's not an issue for me, but it looks interesting, and it might bring up things that you otherwise wouldn't have thought of. So I always tell people, just experiment with what feels right. And yeah, it doesn't have to be something that's upsetting you, because I have lots of videos on just feeling more upbeat than you already are. It's like, again, with taking a shower, you don't have to wait until you feel dirty it's like, okay, I want to be as clean as possible. I tap first thing in the morning, just like I generally take a shower. So whether I've exercised in the morning and then take a shower afterwards, or if I have some early morning appointment and I just want to be fresh and clean going to that and take a shower, whether I've exercised or not, it's just to be as clean as possible. And so I like doing that with my energy as well. Yeah, and so with the tapping, it's like if there's a particular issue that's upsetting you, yeah, great, focus on that and tap on that. But you can tap daily and without even using a video. You could be tapping while saying prayers or saying affirmations. I feel awesome. I feel awesome. I choose to feel awesome. Man, I'm fantastic. I'm having a fantastic day. Things like that, because any argument against that might be in our unconscious and in our energy system will be triggered and come up, and then we can start clearing that out, and we'll be saying, oh yeah, I am awesome. I could have a great day.
Well, it sounds like you advocate doing it regularly, but also doing what you feel like you need and not forcing yourself to do something because you should or have
Yeah.
to.
Yeah, don't should on yourself. Don't let anyone else should on you. It's a matter of going, okay, what feels right?
Could we work through a specific example? So I'm a woman, I'm in my 30s, and a lot of my friends are female and in their 30s. So if it's okay, I'd like to ask you a specific example. So let's say you have a woman who has been dating a man for 2 months and then he breaks up with her and she's feeling pretty bad. She's feeling, rejected, and why does this happen to me again? Why does this always happen to me? What did I do wrong? How could she kind of use EFT to help her work through this and maybe change her viewpoint so she's not blaming her, well, so she can change her energetic state and she doesn't feel so bad about herself?
Well, we could talk about that, or we could do a tapping round about that. What do you think?
Okay,
I
I'll follow
mean, as long
you.
as we're here, let's actually do that.
Okay.
So, so what I invite you to do is, for everyone watching, go ahead and close your eyes. Take a deep breath in and hold it, and let it go. And just quietly allowing yourself to be present and following your breath through your body. Allow yourself to be aware of any discomfort you feel about, it could be anything about relationships. I mean, as long as we're here, you can be aware of any discomfort about anything, but we're going to be focusing on the relationship thing. But if that's not your thing, you can still be aware of any discomfort that you're feeling, and you'll still get benefit from the tapping. So just allowing yourself to be aware of that. In particular, if there was a breakup and there are different thoughts and ideas, oh, this means that I'm not good enough. I always do this. I'm so bad at this. Just allow yourself to be aware not only of the physical discomfort that you might have in your body, but also any thoughts, ideas, beliefs, or memories that you might have about that. Take another deep breath and open your eyes. And you can see a picture of all the points at my website, tapwithbrad.com. But for now, I'll tell you where we're tapping, and you can just guess. We're using our fingertips and not a tiny acupuncture needle, so it doesn't require quite as much accuracy. So, and taking full responsibility for your own well-being as we talk about this. So the first place we're going to tap is on the side of the hand, what we call the karate chop point. So with two fingers, your dominant hand, go ahead and gently tap on the side of the opposite hand. And this is where we'll do the setup. And the meridians run up and down both sides of the body, so you can tap with either hand on either side. And sometimes I tap both sides at the same time. So don't worry about that. Even though I feel upset about this,
Even though I feel upset about this,
I choose to love and accept myself.
I choose to love and accept myself.
Even though I feel upset about this,
Even though I feel upset about this,
I choose to love and honor myself.
I choose to love and honor myself.
Even though I feel upset about this.
Even though I feel upset about this.
And again, as I'm going to use the words about the situation with the dating. For anyone who's following along with this, you can say the same words even if they don't relate to you. You won't create a problem. You're going to be clearing whatever's going on for you, but don't feel that you have to say it. And if there's something else that's bothering you, feel free to change the words as we go along. So, even though I feel upset about this.
Even though I feel upset about this.
My love life is not going the way I want it to.
My love life is not going the way I want it to.
And part of me is saying.
And part of me is saying.
I am really bad at relationships.
I am really bad at relationships.
And I feel really bad about it.
And I feel really bad about it.
And even though I'm upset about this.
And even though I'm upset about this.
I choose to deeply and completely.
I choose to deeply and completely.
Love, honor, and accept myself.
Love, honor, and accept myself.
And maybe anyone else involved.
And maybe anyone else involved.
So tapping right at the beginning of your eyebrow, right near the center of your face. And generally we tap each point between 5 and 10 times. It might be a little bit longer depending on how long the phrase is that we're saying. All this upset about relationships.
All this upset about relationships.
And following your eyebrow out to the corner of your eye, the side of your eye. All this upset.
All this upset.
And then following the edge of your eye socket to right under the middle of your eye. All this upset.
All this upset.
Right under your nose, just above your upper lip. I'm not happy with my love life.
I'm not happy with my love life.
Right under your lower lip, just above your chin. Things are not going the way I want them to.
Things are not going the way I want them to.
And right where your collarbones just about come together, there's a little bit of a U shape at the base of your throat. And you can use all of your fingertips or maybe even make a fist and tap right over there over the collarbones. I'm so unlucky in love.
I'm so unlucky in love.
And then just below the armpit, about 4 inches down, it's right about bra strap level. And even if there are guys watching this, they can probably find that. My love life is not working out.
My love life is not working out.
And then finally, the top of the head. So using all of your fingertips and tapping around the crown of your head. And I don't know what's wrong.
And I don't know what's wrong.
Eyebrow point. But I'm upset.
But I'm upset.
Side of the eye. I'm unhappy about it.
I'm unhappy about it.
Out of the eye. And I'm afraid that it'll never get better.
And I'm afraid it will never get better.
Onto the nose. All this fear that I'll never find love.
All this fear that I'll never find love.
Onto the mouth. All this fear that I'll never be happy.
All this fear that I'll never be happy.
Collarbone. All this belief.
All this belief.
Onto the arm. That there's something that I'm missing.
That there's something that I'm missing.
And there are all these rules.
And there are all these rules.
Eyebrow point. About what I need to be happy.
About what I need to be happy.
Side of the eye. I need someone to tell me they love me every day.
I need someone to tell me they love me every day.
Out of the eye. Or I cannot be happy.
Or I can't be happy.
Onto the nose. And I'd like to have someone do that.
And I'd like to have someone do that.
Onto the mouth. But I'm clearing the belief that I need it.
And I'm clearing the belief that I need it.
Collarbone. I choose to have it.
I choose to have it.
Onto the arm. But I also choose to feel happy.
But I also choose to feel happy.
While I'm waiting.
While I'm waiting.
And things keep going wrong.
And things keep going wrong.
Maybe I start seeing someone.
Maybe I start seeing someone.
And then they leave me.
And then they leave me.
And I'm left thinking.
And I'm left thinking.
There must be something wrong with me.
There must be something wrong with me.
Collarbone. All this belief that there's something wrong with me.
All this belief that there's something wrong with me.
Onto the arm. And I choose to move through that.
And I choose to move through that.
Top of the head. Maybe the fact is.
Maybe the fact is.
There was something wrong with this other person.
There was something wrong with this other person.
Side of the eye. And I was so desperate to be in a relationship.
And I was so desperate to be in a relationship.
On the eye, that I was just ignoring all the red flags.
That I was just ignoring all the red flags.
Onto the nose. So when this person left me.
So when this person left me.
Onto the mouth. I assumed that they were saying.
I assumed that they were saying.
Collarbone. You're not good enough.
You're not good enough.
Onto the arm. I choose to believe that what they were saying.
I choose to believe that what they were saying.
Top of the head. Is that I deserve better.
Is that I deserve better.
Eyebrow point. Look, we've been going out for a few times.
Look, we've been going out for a few times.
Side eye. And you are totally awesome.
And you are totally awesome.
On the eye. And you deserve someone so much better than me.
And you deserve someone so much better than me.
On the nose. And you're not kicking me out.
And you're not kicking me out.
On the mouth. So I need to do it for you.
So I need to do it for you.
Collarbone. And I get to say.
And I get to say.
On the arm. That is so awesome.
That is so awesome.
Top of the head. Now I won't waste any more time on this person.
Now I won't waste any more time on this person.
Eyebrow point. And I'm available for someone better.
And I'm available for someone better.
Side eye. And part of me might be saying.
And part of me might be saying.
On the eye. Well, that's just stupid.
Well, that's just stupid.
I can't think that way.
I can't think that way.
On the mouth. But why not?
But why not?
I get to choose.
I get to choose.
And even if that other person said to me.
And even if that other person said to me.
Top of it. That I wasn't good enough.
That I wasn't good enough.
Eyebrow point. Who says they're right?
Who says they're right?
Side eye. Did he win a Nobel Prize?
Did he win a Nobel Prize?
Side eye. Is he a genius?
Is he a genius?
Onto the nose. I'm a magnificent child of the universe.
I'm a magnificent child of the universe.
Onto the mouth. Worthy and deserving of the best this world has to offer.
Worthy and deserving of the best this world has to offer.
Collarbone. And I'm allowing myself to know that.
And I'm allowing myself to know that.
I am. And it doesn't matter how many people have dumped me.
And it doesn't matter how many people have dumped me.
Top of it. That doesn't prove I'm not good enough.
That doesn't prove I'm not good enough.
Eyebrow point. It might prove that I don't feel ready.
It might prove that I don't feel ready.
Side eye. And I may be doing things to push them away.
And I may be doing things to push them away.
Onto the eye. Not because I'm bad or stupid.
Not because I'm bad or stupid.
Onto the nose. But because part of me says.
But because part of me says.
Onto the mouth. It's not safe to be in a relationship.
It's not safe to be in a relationship.
Collarbone. Maybe I always get dumped after the second date.
Maybe I always get dumped after the second date.
On the arm. And part of me says.
And part of me says.
Top of it. I am afraid of going on a third date.
I'm afraid of going on a third date.
Eyebrow point. And so I might do things.
And so I might do things.
Side eye. That push people away by the second date.
That push people away by the second date.
On the eye. Because I'm trying to protect myself.
Because I'm trying to protect myself.
Onto the nose. Maybe I have all these experiences.
Maybe I have all these experiences.
Onto the mouth. Or have viewed other people's experiences.
Or I have viewed other people's experiences.
Collarbone. Saying that relationships are just painful.
Saying that relationships are just painful.
On the arm. And the longer a relationship goes.
And the longer a relationship goes.
Top of the head. The more painful it can be.
The more painful it can be.
Eyebrow point. So when I'm ending these relationships early.
So when I'm ending these relationships early.
Side eye. Or stopping myself from even going on dates.
Or stopping myself from even going on dates.
It's because I'm a freaking genius.
It's because I'm a freaking genius.
And I'm trying to protect myself.
And I'm trying to protect myself.
On a mouth. From something I think isn't safe.
From something I think isn't safe.
Collarbone. And I love and appreciate myself.
And I love and appreciate myself.
For all the ways that I block people.
For all the ways that I block people.
Top of it. For all the ways that I push people away.
For all the ways that I push people away.
Eyebrow point. Believing that's necessary.
Believing that's necessary.
Side of the eye. In order to protect me.
In order to protect me.
Under the eye. And now I choose to change my mind.
And now I choose to change my mind.
Onto the nose. I can handle relationships.
I can handle relationships.
Onto the mouth. I can handle love.
I can handle love.
Collarbone. I can handle attracting the right people.
I can handle attracting the right people.
Onto the arm. And I can handle letting go of people who aren't right.
And I can handle letting go of people who aren't right.
Top of it. And anybody who dumps me.
And anybody who dumps me.
Eyebrow point. Saying that I'm not right for them.
Saying that I'm not right for them.
Side eye. That's proof that they're not right for me.
That's proof that they're not right for me.
Onto the eye. And it would be really great.
And it would be really great.
On us if we both figured it out at the same time.
If we both figured it out at the same time.
On a mouth. But that often doesn't happen.
But that often doesn't happen.
Collarbone. But I'm allowing myself to know.
But I'm allowing myself to know.
On the arm. If they have left me.
If they have left me.
Top of the head. It's because they weren't good enough for me.
It's because they weren't good enough for me.
Eyebrow point. They might be awesome.
They might be awesome.
Side of the eye. But they're not the right person for me.
But they're not the right person for me.
On the eye. And it's better that I'm available for the right person.
And it's better that I'm available for the right person.
Onto the nose. And I can handle having the right person show up.
And I can handle having the right person show up.
Onto the mouth. I can handle love.
I can handle love.
Collarbone. I'm clearing my doubts about that.
I'm clearing my doubts about that.
I'm clearing my fears about that.
I'm clearing my fears about that.
Top of the head. I've handled all kinds of things in my life.
I've handled all kinds of things in my life.
Eyebrow point. Maybe not as gracefully as I would have liked.
Maybe not as gracefully as I would have liked.
Side of the eye. But I'm still here.
But I'm still here.
Onto the eye, which means that I handled it.
Which means that I handled it.
Onto the nose. I choose to have more confidence in myself.
I choose to have more confidence in myself.
Onto the mouth. And I choose to love myself more.
And I choose to love myself more.
Collarbone. Even before someone else shows up to love me.
Even before someone else shows up to love me.
On the arm. I choose to know that I'm worthy and deserving of love.
I choose to know that I'm worthy and deserving of love.
Top of the head. I'm clearing all the doubts about that.
I'm clearing all the doubts about that.
Eyebrow point. I might have different ideas.
I might have different ideas.
Side of the eye. About why I'm not worthy of love.
About why I'm not worthy of love.
On the eye. But it's all nonsense.
But it's all nonsense.
On the nose. It's misunderstandings.
It's misunderstandings.
On the mouth. And I'm clearing that out.
And I'm clearing that out.
Collarbone. And how is someone else going to find me lovable?
And how is someone else going to find me lovable?
On the arm. If I'm doubting that I'm lovable.
If I'm doubting that I'm lovable,
Top of it. I choose to acknowledge the truth.
I choose to acknowledge the truth.
Eyebrow point. I am awesome.
I'm awesome.
Side of the eye. I am worthy and deserving of love and respect.
I am worthy and deserving of love and respect.
Out of the eye. And I'm practicing loving myself now.
And I'm practicing loving myself now.
Out of the nose. So that when the right person shows up,
So that when the right person shows up,
out of the mouth, I can let them know that I'm worthy of love.
I can let them know that I'm worthy of love.
Collarbone. And it'll help me be more loving towards them.
And it will help me be more loving towards them.
Onto the arm. So I'm allowing myself to love myself more.
So I'm allowing myself to love myself more.
Top of the head. In body, mind, and spirit.
In body, mind, and spirit.
Take a deep breath. And close your eyes. And go inside and allow yourself to go back to that place where you might have been feeling that upset. And if you had rated it on a scale of 0 to 10 before, allow yourself to be aware if it's shifted and what other thoughts might be there. Take another deep breath and open your eyes. So that's one of the ways, some of the things that we can do to shift the perspective about that. Certainly I can look back at the relationships that I've had that didn't work out. It's like, well, that's good because I was meant to be married to my wife. I look back and go, wow, thank goodness that person left me, even though it felt painful at the time. So, and it's very hard in that moment. I don't know that I could go back in any of those moments and say, oh, no, it's totally right that person left. They would have been totally wrong for you. But with the tapping, we can allow ourselves to look at that and go, oh, yeah, if they think that I'm not right for them, then they're definitely not right for me.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely don't want to be in a relationship with someone who isn't thinking that I'm awesome.
That's true.
So, but there's those ideas about, well, I need to be in a relationship in order to be happy because I see other people who have that, but you can look around at people who are in relationships that are miserable and go, why would I want that? We can always find what we're looking for out there. So a matter of us saying, hey, I choose to be happy right now, whether I'm single or in a relationship. There's no rule that says you need this in order to be happy. I think it was the feminist Gloria Steinem who said, a woman needs a man like a fish needs a bicycle. And it's, well, so the only problem with that is, yes, but a fish wouldn't even want a bicycle, and people do want to be in relationships. Mm-hmm. It's just that you don't. But it's the important point is it's not a need. And as we allow ourselves to recognize that, we have a lot more freedom and go, oh, yeah, I don't have to feel bad about that. Hey, I went out with this person. It was kind of fun the first time, kind of weird the second time. It's okay. And there wasn't something that, like someone was saying, I have what you need, and now I'm taking it away, and you have to feel bad about that. It's like, okay, that wasn't what I was looking for.
You make a very good point. If somebody doesn't want to be with you, even if you feel like you still want to be with them in the long run, you don't want to be with somebody who doesn't really want to be with you.
Yeah. It's not that person that you're looking for. It's this belief that you need, or that you're missing out on something, or, I'm too old now and I don't have any more time to be looking for somebody. And all of these ideas about why it's wrong that you're not single. And those are all misunderstandings. None of it is true. And you can, and let go. And I'll encourage folks, you can still be tapping while we're talking here. By letting go of that need, that doesn't mean you're giving up. That's not saying, oh, well, if I can tap away this belief that I need to be in a relationship, then I won't even bother. And then I won't even go out on dates and I'll miss out. No, you can go out and have a lot more fun on dates without, when you're not stuck in this feeling of, oh, I need this to work out. Oh, please, God, let this be Mr. Right. It's like, no, hey, I'm going to go out and have a good time. And, if it works out, awesome. If it doesn't work out, awesome. It's all good.
Well, as we were going through the tapping, I got like a very positive, sort of like a buzzing feeling. Have a partner, even if that wasn't, the exercise that, let's say, would most need to do, it's still just going through it. It still really made me feel great.
Yeah.
So,
And that's ideally what we want. In law of attraction, they talk about, the most important thing is that you feel good. Because when you're out there in the world and you're putting out the energy, do you want to attract somebody who goes, oh, there's someone who feels bad. Yeah, I want to be with that person. Or do you want someone who goes, hey, that person's got some awesome energy. I've got awesome energy. Let's put our awesome energy together. you know, we don't want to be a broken piece that's looking for some other broken piece to try to fit together. It's like, I want to feel, we are whole and complete, lacking nothing on our own, and feel really good about that when we go out. And people pick up on that, and confidence and joy are very sexy. So that's going to draw people to go, oh, and how much cooler of a person we attract then from that place of being in a really positive vibe.
uh, I agree with you. When we go through the tapping, do you say certain things at certain meridian points? Are there certain points where it's good to use certain types of phrases, or can you kind of do it if I'm doing it on my own? Does it matter if I say, even though I feel like this when I tap my hand or when I tap my head or my eyebrow, or is it what you feel?
Yeah, there are in traditional acupuncture, the different points, most of these are end points of meridians, and the meridians tend to be associated with different organs, and those organs are often associated with different emotions. And I've heard of different acupuncturists who say, oh, no, this meridian is really associated with that organ, or that organ is really associated with this emotion. So, so I don't tend to get tied up in that. There are certain phrases that I will do because, uh, these points, uh, this point is associated with sadness. The side of the eye is associated with anger. The under the eye associated with the stomach meridian is associated with fear, predominantly. But it's not like, okay, every time I talk about fear, I have to tap under my eye. Every time I talk about anger, I have to tap on the side of the eye. Just go with the flow. And tapping is beneficial in reducing our stress and our emotional discomfort, even if we're not saying any words. So don't get caught up in the words. Don't worry about, oh, I have to say exactly the right thing. As I said earlier, you can be saying a prayer or affirmations. You can be singing a song. You can be absolutely silent. There are times where I'm just silently tapping, just thinking, okay, if there's any stress going on in my body, I choose to release that. I choose to have as high a vibration as I can. I want to feel as good as I can. Um, it's like right nowadays they're saying wash your hands a lot. You can go and wash your hands even if it's like, well, I don't see any dirt, but I just want to make sure my hands are clean. Same with this. I may not feel any stress, but I want to make sure my energy is clean. And you don't need to be focused on a particular thing. I don't have to come up with, well, what might I be upset about? You can do that if you want to, but don't worry about that. So feel free to tap along and say whatever words come to mind.
Okay. Let's say that somebody is trying it and they're like, well, I don't really believe in this. I'm going to try it. Does it work even if you don't believe in it?
Yeah, it's it, I'm glad you brought that up because you had asked something about this earlier about the tapping with different videos. If you are not feeling upset about a certain issue, for instance, someone might be watching this and they may be happily involved in a relationship and they may be tapping along and go, okay, I don't notice any difference because there wasn't anything there to be clear about. So there are times where the tapping will be more effective because there's an obvious, just like with taking a shower, if you get up in the morning and you haven't worked out and you already feel clean, you take a shower, it's like, okay, I know that it was a good thing to take a shower, but I don't notice any difference because I didn't smell bad before and I don't smell bad now. So was there any difference? Well, but there is always some layer of, sweat or whatever. The body is always, getting dirtier. So it's always beneficial and it certainly can't hurt. But obviously, if you have been working out and you're sweaty and you take a shower, it's more obvious. So when we're tapping, we may not notice a big difference. And it's like when you take vitamins. A lot of people take nutritional supplements. They take vitamins. When was the last time you took a vitamin C and went, wow, I feel so much healthier now? So it's beneficial to you, even though the effects may not be obvious. We may, uh, and it may take longer. If we're really out of shape and we're 300 pounds overweight, and we decide I'm going to get fit, and we do 3 sit-ups, and we go, well, I don't have six-pack abs. Obviously, sit-ups don't work. You know, it may take a little bit more. And so with the tapping, we may be tapping through and go, well, I'm still upset. Okay. If we could, there are measurements we can take. We can measure cortisol, which is a stress hormone. We can do measurements, and scientific studies show that the cortisol is coming down. So we may say, well, I'm not sure that I feel any less stressful, but we could scientifically measure that there is a lower level of stress in the body. So tapping is always beneficial. We may just not always be consciously aware of the benefits.
Well, that brings me to another question that was brought up by my boyfriend because he's a little bit more, he's German. Germans are sort of like, they like things to be proven. So he's like, oh, yes, I want to know, is there scientific proof for it? So that's my question for
Yeah.
him.
Yeah, absolutely. And I totally get that. It's funny to me because so many people will say, where's the evidence? Where's the research? Where's the proof? Meanwhile, they're out doing things with no research, no evidence. And in fact, they are doing things that research has said these are bad to do. The same person says, where's the research? Is over drinking, drinking too much alcohol and eating lots of sugar. It's
He's
like,
drinking lots of alcohol right now.
well, there you go. Hey, he's German. You know, um, totally understandable. But but it's very funny because you could say, okay, you're asking for the research. I can give you plenty of research showing that it's harmful to you to drink alcohol. So how much does research really influence your behavior? So I mean, that's the funny thing. But beyond that, the great thing is there is a growing body of evidence. There is, as I mentioned, the study showing that cortisol, the stress hormone. So a friend of mine, Dr. Dawson Church, did a study several years ago where, and this is a absolute gold standard scientific study, double blind study with control groups. So it's not just a matter of, hey, did you feel better? Great, scientific research. Now, this is actual, scientific research showing that the group that did the tapping, their cortisol levels dropped by an average of 24%, some as much as 50%, it was so staggering that the lab technicians threw out the first batch of results because they thought that's not possible. It could not have been that effective. Recalibrated the machines, ran it again, and it's like, oh, it was that effective. And now for research to be really valid, you need to duplicate that. So my friend Dr. Peter Stapleton, who has done some great research, has just replicated Dr. Church's study and actually got better results with the cortisol coming down by 43%. So again, this is gold standard research. It's replicated. So the research is absolutely there validating the effectiveness of tapping beyond the thousands and thousands and thousands and potentially millions of people who just know, oh yeah, I don't need a research lab to do it. I tapped, I feel better. My life is getting better. So ultimately we're our own best lab.
Well, you don't have to tell me. For years now, I've been watching your videos, and you mentioned that if you don't have like a major issue, or let's go back to the dating issue, right? If that's not an issue for me, I'm not suddenly gonna feel like, like a whole weight came off of me because it's not a problem I have. But I used to actually have panic attacks going back, I think between 10 up till about 6 years ago. And I used EFT for that. And it worked. It was actually the only thing that helped me was actually using EFT. And then I got it down. on the one hand, if it's very subtle, you might not notice from night to day, but it can also talk you down in extreme situations. It can have an extreme effect. And I used to be afraid of
Absolutely.
flying, and I'm not anymore, so it made a big difference.
Yeah, same here. I'm used to having to, because I travel for work, and it's made my life so much easier to be able to tap away those fears. And what's so great about tapping also is that you can use it in the moment when you're feeling stressed. There are a lot of great ways to lower your overall stress, like eating a healthier diet, getting a good night's sleep, meditating. All of these are great things. If you're in the moment where you're feeling stress, like you're on an airplane and start to feel panic, you can't go back and eat a better meal the night before. You can't go back and get a better night's sleep the night before. And if you're feeling panic, chances are you're not going to be able to sit there on the plane and go into a meditative state. It's just not that easy. But you can do this. And you can even do it. There are subtle ways to do it so that if people around you aren't familiar, I've been on planes where if, where there was turbulence and I started to feel uncomfortable and I was like, I don't care if anyone thinks I look like an idiot. I'm all over the internet tapping on my face. So no big deal. But there are subtle ways to tap as well that other people might not even notice, but it's something that you can do right in that moment to allow yourself to calm down.
One of the things I really like about you, maybe this is why I was so drawn to doing your videos in particular for EFT, is you have a great sense of humor. Like, I mean, and it's kind of like you're like, oh, I'm a love magnet, and you kind of laugh. It really. So I know you have a background as an actor and also in comedy. How do you integrate that into your work, and what is the effect of that combined with EFT?
Yeah, so I like to think of it as the spoonful of sugar that helps the medicine go down, because a lot of the times we're talking and tapping about things that are traumatic, things that are really upsetting. And to just sit there and be going through this process, oh, all this misery, all this pain, life sucks. That's so, and then we don't want to do it. So if we can bring a lightness to it, it makes it more entertaining, it makes it more fun. Yeah, I was an actor. I went to Ringling Brothers Clown College. I'd done different comedy things. And yet at the same time, it's not like I'm in a tapping around going, okay, what can I say that's going to be funny? It's just that human beings are funny. And as we look at these things, Gary Craig, the founder of EFT, would call these things our comedies. We have these comedies that are written on our walls because sometimes we can be tapping on something that's very upsetting, even traumatic, and then we might find humor in it. So, not necessarily. I'm not saying everything is funny, but if we can take this lightness to it. So, in some of my videos, I'm very goofy. I have a clown one where I'm wearing clown makeup. So, I've said I take my work very seriously. I just don't always present it in a serious way because that having that light touch just makes it easier to do, and people are more inclined to do it. It's like exercise. If exercises that are just painful and boring, it's not as much fun. But if I can do something that's more entertaining, and especially if I can be involved in some kind of sport like playing soccer or tennis or something like that, it makes it that much easier to do.
That explains it really well. And just as you were talking, I was thinking back to some of your videos, and it's not like you're laughing and mocking somebody, like, oh, oh, poor me, but it's more like it's kind of like, the human tragicomedy of life. You kind of have to laugh and cry.
Yeah. And there are times where people might accuse me of, oh, you're making fun of me or something like that. And it's like, no, I'm laughing at us as human beings. I'm never
Mhm.
laughing at anybody in their particular situation, but I find us as human beings funny. And the stuff that we make up and the stuff that we get upset about and the meaning that we give it, because the upset that we feel is not what happened, it's the meaning that we give it. Just
Mhm.
to go back to the example of somebody dumps you, someone says, I don't want to see you anymore. And we can make that mean, um, oh, I'm a really terrible person and I'm unlovable. Or we can make it mean, oh, thank goodness, this I that guy was what, 180 pounds? I just lost 180 pounds. That was the greatest weight loss. There's all kinds of, we can change our perspective and give a different meaning to it that feels better. Because there is no absolute truth when something like that happens. When someone leaves us, there's no absolute truth about whether it's a good thing or a bad thing. Nothing's good or bad, but thinking makes it so. So we can choose to think something good about that. So, when I'm going through the tapping round, it's just it's funny if we're in a bad mood and it's like talking about it being a pity party. And I'm not making fun of someone going, oh, you're so pathetic that you're in this pity party. It's just like, aren't we as human beings kind of funny and kind of ridiculous at times? And allowing ourselves to laugh at ourselves without blaming ourselves. It doesn't mean, a phrase that I use a lot, and I may have used it in that earlier tapping round, is it's not because I'm bad or stupid. The fact that I do these things, this self-sabotage, it's not that I'm bad or stupid. Self-sabotage is simply misguided self-love. Some part of me in my programming thinks I need to change this situation. I need to get out of this situation. And I might have all kinds of ridiculous ways of doing that. But, and as we tap through and go, oh, that's kind of funny. Yeah, I can knock that off now.
Do you think that tapping has the power to create miracles?
Yeah, it's so great that you asked that, Caitlin, because just yesterday I was doing a YouTube live, and at the last tapping round we did was on miracles. And I have a couple of videos on miracles. It's all a matter of how you look at it. We can look at different things in our lives and say, wow, that was miraculous. It's a matter of, what do we call a miracle? I remember a comedian years ago saying, oh, miracle, birth is a miracle. She goes, if we say miracle is anything that we don't understand, then to me, popcorn is a miracle. And we can't. I think it was Einstein said, there's two ways of looking at life, as though nothing is a miracle, or as if everything is a miracle. So, yeah. So what's miraculous that could happen, it's just a matter of if we're stopping it and we're blocking it. And there's part of me that's saying, especially if we call it a miracle, because anything that we see as miraculous is going to freak us out. You look and say, okay, walking on water was a miracle. If you were to go down to the swimming pool and start walking across it, it would blow your mind, and you would be very like, what's going on? It's so out of the norm. So anything we think of miraculous is out of the norm, and part of us is afraid of anything that's out of the norm. So as we allow ourselves to clear it and say, hey, I am open to miracles. I am open to miracles. Even if it would be miraculous, I'm okay with that. And so, at that level, we are creating our reality. And so we could even say we're creating miracles all the time. It's just a matter of, what are we creating, and giving ourselves permission to create better things. Because nothing's too good for us.
We have a lot more power, in defining our reality and the lives we lead than maybe we realize sometimes. We don't have to be the victims of circumstance. Of course, we can't control everything, but...
Right. But we can control our response to it. And from that, and we can also control what, our behavior, which leads to so many of the circumstances. Obviously there's a lot going on in the world right now that none of us individually have, oh, well, it's because I did this, that's why the world is in so much trouble right now. No. But in our day-to-day situations, in our relationships, in our work, there is so much that we are responsible for, that we do create. And, so we can say, all right, for those things that I have no control over, I'm going to set those aside, because there's so much that I do have control over that I can focus on right now. And I can make things so much better. Someone might be saying, oh, well, there's so many people getting sick right now, and so much, financial difficulty out there. Meanwhile, they're over drinking, overeating, spending all day long watching crap television or whatever, and complaining about things that have no control over, and they're not doing what they can to control the things that they can do. And that's not to shame anybody. I'm not saying you should feel stupid if you're one of those people. Not at all. But allow yourself, give yourself permission to look at it and go, okay, am I putting all my attention on what's wrong out there and stopping myself from doing what I can? And it's not, again, like I said, it's not that you're bad or stupid. It's that there's programming that says, stay stuck where you're at and focus on those things you can't control. Because if you spend all your time focusing on the things you can't control, then darn it, there's just no time to do the things you can control, and you get to stay stuck, which is brilliant, but you deserve better. Trying to organize, tomorrow's my son's birthday, and he lives in Ohio, so we're trying to organize a birthday call for him, and at the last minute, it's like this morning, it's like, oh, I have to work tomorrow, and we have to change everything. Anyhow.
Do you have any special advice for people having some difficulties in the COVID-19 quarantine? It's kind of different everywhere in the world right now, what you're dealing with, but I think most people are dealing with increased loneliness and less contact with other human beings, unless you live together with other people, and then you are always with other people, but...
And that might be a problem too. I have so I've done a number of live events in the last couple of weeks on Facebook Live and Instagram and YouTube to help folks through this. I created a playlist of some of the videos that I think are beneficial at this time, including feeling all alone, feeling lonely. My family's driving me crazy. I'm worried about my health. I'm worried about my finances. So I created a playlist on YouTube that covers a lot of the different feelings that are coming up for folks during the whole coronavirus crisis.
And your username there is Brad Yates, if people want to look up you, and then they'll find your playlist.
Yeah, Brad Yates or Tap with Brad. So on any of the platforms, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and my website is tapwithbrad.com. And if you go to tapwithbrad.com/crisis, that'll take you right to that playlist.
Mm-hmm. And what is coming up for you, Brad?
Well, I was supposed to be in San Francisco tomorrow doing a workshop, a big event with a colleague of mine from Australia, Steve Wells. So obviously we're going to be doing that online. So we're supposed to be in San Francisco this weekend and New York next weekend. So those travel plans got put on hold. So I'll be doing live. We'll be doing those live online, and continuing to do teleclasses and private sessions, all those different things. I'm very fortunate that my work is not directly affected. I'm still, because I work from home, so not a lot is different in my day-to-day life. Very blessed, knock on wood. So yeah, just continuing to find ways to be of service to folks. And like I said, I've been doing these different live events on YouTube and Facebook to try to help folks through this time and clear out those reasons. Again, it's not what happens to us as it is our thoughts and beliefs about that, and the meaning we give it, and then the emotions we feel about that. And we can allow ourselves to feel better and say, all right, it's more challenging, it's inconvenient, but what can I do to make things better?
Well, you have a wealth of videos that you've done, and you're also doing a lot of live events at the moment. But you've done videos on like everything anybody can imagine.
There's over 900 videos right now. So.
Depression, panic, fear, feeling unworthy, just whatever you're feeling, whatever a person is feeling, I think you have
There's a
videos
tap
for
for that.
specifically. Yeah. Uh-huh. As you were talking about going to this event, I was wondering, is there something where, you know how they say collective meditation is more powerful when you work together? Is there something like if you tap collectively that it somehow increases the power more or effectiveness or?
I I believe so. Especially when we're able to be in a room together, which we can't do at the moment, but it's very powerful. And one of the things that's great about it too is we may be at an event and we're not entirely sure what's going on for us, but someone else in that room is going to bring it up, and it's like, oh, that's what I needed to work on. So, but even if we're doing it collectively online, and that's why one of the things I've loved about doing the YouTube lives, and I've had hundreds of people online at the same time tapping, even though we're all across the globe, we're we're still collectively together, and everything is energy. So we are all connected energetically, no matter where we are. From California to Germany, there's still energetic connection happening. So, and the more people, the more combined that energy is. So yeah, it's more powerful. It's more fun too.
Well, yesterday morning, I was with a friend of mine and we did the tapping to the love magnet together because that's my favorite video. We did it together, actually. It was a lot of fun.
Does your boyfriend say, "Hey, why are you still tapping to that one?"
Well, honestly, I was thinking about that because I did it with my friend because she's looking for love. And I was like, well, I love this video, but I don't know how he feels about me doing this in a relationship. I did that one when I was single
Yeah.
specifically, but
And
I
the
love
thing
the
is,
idea of
you can always improve a relationship. Nothing's so good that it can't get better. You can use the love magnet video to attract even more love, even if you're in a relationship, to have the relationship be, clear
Mhm.
out anything that gets in the way there. So it's not a matter of you're nice, but I'm still looking.
But it's so funny you brought that up because I was really thinking, I was like, I'm not sure he's gonna like me doing this one, even though I just want to do it to raise my feeling of love and my vibration. But
He should not feel threatened.
I just have to
It's
get him to do it with me.
There you
Problem
go.
solved.
It's good for him too. The more love you allow, that's certainly good for him.
Yeah, yep, it's true.
I brought it up in the tapping round about loving yourself. That to me is always the most important thing, is learning to love ourselves more, because the more love we feel for ourselves, the more we have to share with other people, the more we can see other people as worthy and deserving of love. It boosts our immune system, which is really important at this time. So there's just endless benefits to loving yourself more. And you may have a lot of reasons for not loving yourself more, but there's no good reason for not loving yourself more. So clear out the bad reasons, and just allow yourself to have that positive feeling, because and allow all the good things: better romance, better career, better financial situations, better health. Your success in any area of life benefits other people. So thank you to everyone who's willing to do this, and thank you very much for this opportunity to share this work.
Oh, are you kidding? I'm so happy to get to speak to you in person. When we were doing when we were going through the tapping, I was just like going so automatically because I'm so used to watching you in
Yeah.
videos.
Well, and I had hope. It's long been on my list to come and do an event in Germany, and I actually had looked at being in Germany later this year, and now all travel is off for the time
Yeah,
being. So,
yeah.
where in Germany are you?
I'm in Berlin.
In Berlin.
I'm
I
in
have not
Berlin.
been to Berlin yet. I've been to a couple places in Germany, but not Berlin, and I'm looking forward to that.
Where have you been in Germany?
I have been to Hamburg.
Mm-hmm.
I've been to Cologne. I've
Knew you
been
were gonna say Cologne.
Yeah. That was the first place. When I first went into Germany, I was traveling with a buddy and went from Belgium in through Cologne. I've been to Detmold. I think that's That's all I remember now. I was there when I was 18, long, very long time ago. So yeah, hoping to get over there and do a number of. We should go to Stuttgart and visit the Porsche factory.
Oh. Well, I think Germans are quite actually surprisingly, not surprisingly, but despite their reputation for being, engineers and very calculating and clear thinking, I think they are quite interested in this type of stuff as well. So also in Berlin, like when you get outside of Germany into the villages, not everybody speaks English so well. I mean, I
Hmm.
guess you could do it obviously with a translator, but like in Berlin in the cities, every yeah, majority of people will speak English. So and there are a lot of people in Berlin who need some help because I think because of the history, I think it tends to a friend of mine has this theory which I kind of agree with. It tends to attract sort of traumatized people to Berlin. I think because there's some darkness there. So I think that in particular in Berlin, there are a lot of people who could use some help.
Yeah. Well, I look forward to getting there as soon as I can.
Okay, well, let me know whenever you're here.
I absolutely will.
I'm coming to your course. And I'm bringing my boyfriend.
Excellent.
Well, thank you very much for your time. It's been just wonderful to talk to you in person, and it actually feels kind of surreal because I've been watching you for years. So I'm so happy to speak to you, and I really appreciate your time and your wisdom. And so thank you so much, Brad.
Oh, my pleasure, Caitlin. It's been a pleasure.
Okay. Thank you, Brad.
You're welcome.
Have a happy birthday for your son.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, bye.